guys, it's me, KTB, and I'm here today to do my book reviews, because I do book reviews, if you hadn't noticed. Yes, and I'm awkwardly holding a cup of tea, because I've got a cup of tea, and cup of tea. I love cups of tea. Cups of tea are my favourite. I prefer them over coffee, to be honest, but I do drink coffee too. And it's my queen bee mug, because I'm all about them bees. Bees are good. I've got a bee tattoo actually, on my wrist, and yes, bees are very important. We should look after them, because they look after us. They pollinate flowers and stuff, so yeah, we need to look after the bees. And as such, every animal, because yeah, animals are important to look after in some ways. Well, not technically look after, but you know what I mean. Come on. Animals are important to our environment. Not that they're ours, because they're their own animal. But they're important to the world, and we should try and help protect them, because we are in positions where we're at the top of the food chain, so we need to. But yes, I got this mug from my cousins, and I know one of them is subscribed to me, so thank you. I love it. Yeah, it was a Christmas present. Love my bee mug. Yes, so on to the book review. Yes, because that's what you came here for. Not to watch me drink tea and talk about bees and mugs. So yeah, okay. I'll read you the synopsis for the testing by Joelle Charbonneau, if I haven't already mentioned the title. And yeah. Okay. Do you possess a winning combination of theoretical knowledge, practical skills, and raw intelligence? Do you have what it takes to lead others? Are you willing to crush those who stand in your way? Every year, the United Commonwealth invites top graduates from each colony to participate in the testing. Successful candidates will go on to the university and help the government work to rebuild our war-stricken world. This process is not optional. Disclaimer: the United Commonwealth is not responsible for candidates' psychological or physical health during the testing. I'm a big fan of YA books. They're the majority of books that I actually read, and I do enjoy a really good YA book. I'm not an expert on YA novels, but I do like to think I know my stuff. So yeah. This book felt very, very, very similar to the Hunger Games. Very similar to the Hunger Games, I must add, because it does feel very much like a kind of carbon copy of it. Not that, it's plagiarised word for word, but which would make it illegal, because that's the way the creative law works. It's not kind of the story, it's more the wording of that story that gets kind of regulated, because look at White House Down and Olympus Is Falling, two very, very similar movies that came out at very similar times, that starred completely different actors and were following different versions of similar characters, who had starkly different backstories. So in that sense, it's not the idea that kind of gets regulated, it's the wording of that idea that gets kind of, you can kind of go and say, I claim copyright. I dubbed this book to be plagiarism, and I dubbed this book to have loads of things that have, loads of words that have been copy and pasted from mine to theirs, and not that this book has got that happen. My English is not very good today. It must be the tea. Maybe I shouldn't bring tea in. Damn it. Better enjoy it while I can. So yeah, it does feel very, very similar to the Hunger Games. I mean, it's coming from underneath a shadow coming from underneath a shadow as big as the Hunger Games is a very difficult task to kind of accomplish, and I kind of admire Joelle for trying her best, because she did try really hard, and the ending is amazing. The ending is better than the beginning, so it is recommended that if you do pick this up, that you push forward if you're not enjoying the ending, because not enjoying the beginning, not the ending, because you don't read the ending first. Silly me. So yes, it is advised that if you do want to read this book, that you press on to the end, because the end is worth it, believe me. The ending was starkly better than the ending. The ending was starkly better than the beginning. I cannot speak today. This is not speaking proper English. Okay, so yeah, read on to the end if you do think, this sounds like an interesting book, I want to read this, because the beginning was not as good as the end, in my opinion. I didn't particularly like Sia at the beginning. She improved by the end, but she was still someone who I don't consider to be... I'm not considering her as a kind of strong female character, because to me she was perfect. She got everything right, and she did everything right, and she worked everything out, and it was like she kind of woke up and started singing Flawless. And yeah, Beyonce doesn't exist in this world, but it was like she woke up flawless, and yeah, I don't think that is synonymous with a strong female character, in my opinion. A strong female character for me personally is someone who has flaws and learns to embrace them and overcome them and become a better person as a result. And how can you become a better, stronger person when you're already kind of faultless? It doesn't make sense to me, and so I didn't really kind of see her as a strong female character. But she did go through a journey, and she did kind of overcome obstacles, but whether she's a better character as a result, I'm not sure. So yeah, Sia was a little bit too perfect for me, and my liking. So she wasn't as kind of likeable as Katniss was, because Katniss was a little bit too kind of... She was one of those kind of... Katniss was a more lonely, within herself kind of type of character, and her people skills weren't as good. So she had to kind of learn to be able to talk freely and kind of become this role model and be someone who could get others to like her. So for the purposes of the Hunger Games, and yeah. Sia was this automatically likeable, very clever, very smart, able to work things out, and she didn't seem kind of like, to me, as someone with a flaw. But it is a very engaging read. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I didn't enjoy it, it's not like I don't rate it as a YA novel, but it did have some very obvious flaws with it, mostly being Sia seemed too good to be true, and it felt very similar to the Hunger Games. Those were its only faults for me. And it was a very engaging read, and I did really, really enjoy it. And, you know, if I didn't, I probably would have struggled to get through to the end had I not enjoyed it, because I did. To be fair, I do kind of go through books anyway. It's not often that I struggle to get through them, so yeah. Yeah, it is a recommended read. Not kind of as one to be, how to put it, it's certainly one that I would recommend, but it's not quite as good as the Hunger Games in my opinion. Just be aware of that and enjoy it for what it is, which is a decent YA novel, and I do want to read the next one, so you know, it's achieved my enjoyment, so well done. I love it. Well, love it being like it. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. So I'd rate it 3.5 stars, but because obviously Amazon and Goodreads don't kind of allow you to put 0.5s, it would probably go into the 3-star categorization or the 4-star categorization because of either way of putting it into one of them. So yeah. But it is worth checking out. I will put the links down below for you guys, and I will see you in the next book review. Bye bye.